This portion of the CC Auto Show is brought to you in part by the Napa Auto Care Centers near you. Regular maintenance is a key to getting the most out of your vehicle, but you shouldn't have to sacrifice trust and peace of mind when finding a repair center for your automobile. Napa Auto Care Centers are built around a quality standard where independent repair business owners are invited to join based on integrity, qualifications, and expertise. That's how Napa Auto Care ensures that you get the best-in-class service that you deserve. From routine maintenance to major repairs, you are covered with ASE certified technicians that use high quality Napa parts and provide exceptional work that you can feel confident about knowing it's backed by a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. With the largest network of independent technicians in the U.S., a Napa Auto Care Center is sure to be near wherever you might be. It's like having a friend everywhere you go. For a list of Napa Auto Care Centers near you, go to napaautocare.com or dial 1-800-LET-NAPA.
Good morning and welcome to the CNC Auto Show. Our experts, Aaron Clements and John Ryan Mooney, are cranked up and ready to roll. Here's your chance to get free advice, tips, and information about your car, truck, and SUV. It's the CNC Auto Show.
And we are ready to roll, and I'm Aaron Clements.
I'm John Ryan Mooney.
And we are two shop guys. We enjoy working in automotive shops. We also enjoy sharing information with you and giving you information on ways to make your car safer, to make it more dependable, and to make it last longer for less money and less hassle. And we have several methods of doing that, but our preferred method is by the telephone, because that way you get to call in and join us and talk a little bit and cut up. And then we also share the information. Now, that's on Saturday mornings between 8 and 10. You can give us that call, and that number is 706-863-5800. You can join the show with us. Now, at any other time, you can go to ccautoshow@gmail.com and send your question in, and we'll try our very best to answer that question on the air, unless you tell us not to. We'll do it. You can join us on Facebook and watch the show live at ccautoshow.com. If you were to go to that ccautoshow.com right now, you'd be able to see us cutting up, having a good time. And you can also watch past shows on our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search for the CNC Auto Show. And our theme that we're covering today is increasing the longevity of your mechanical buddy. And during this hour, we'll be giving tips on ways that you can make your vehicle last longer. And one example might be to keep your visibility items in good shape. Things like light bulbs, avoidance system, mirrors, they all need to stay in good condition. They all need to work, because if your vehicle's wrecked, it's not going to last as long.
Yep.
This will help you to avoid those accidents. Many repair facilities will check lights and replace wiper blades and not charge for labor. If you need to find a good professional repair facility, go to napaautocare.com. If you'd like to purchase the parts and do it yourself, just go to napaonline.com to find the Napa parts store that's closest to you. And John Ryan, where will we go to?
Oh, let's go over to McCoot.
McCoot, welcome to the CNC Auto Show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And did you you have an answer to the tech tip quiz that we have, right?
That's correct.
Okay, I'm going to give that tech tip quiz again real quick. We have that tech tip quiz. And, of course, the winner will be named a Tech Tip winner. They'll win a prize package with a show hat, CNC Auto Show hat, coffee mug, and the coveted I Answered the Tech Tip Quiz golf shirt. Billy owns an 04 Chevrolet 2500 truck. He loaned his truck to a friend, and his friend made him blow his engine by pressing the gas pedal. How did his friend make Billy blow his engine by pressing the gas pedal? And, Coot, all eyes are on you.
All right. Ready for the answer?
We are ready for the answer. Let's do it.
He did fuel injection service as well as EGR cleaning service.
McCoot, I am so sorry. Oh,
okay.
Man. That one just didn't work. But we do appreciate it very much for giving it a try.
What is the clue? Do you have any clue?
He's trying to pull it out of the bag, eh?
Yeah. Well, I don't think Blue is here right now.
No, he said clue.
Oh, you want a clue? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you was asking about Blue. Okay, a clue. Actually, he didn't press the gas pedal just once. He actually pressed it 3 times. And the engine was in the off was just in the on position but wasn't running when Billy's friend borrowed the truck? Any answer?
Okay. No.
Okay. All right. Well, if you do think of the answer, just give us a call.
Thanks, Macoot.
Bye-bye.
It'll come to you. I got the feeling. Okay, where are we going next, John Ryan?
All right, Andrew. All right, Andrew. We'll go to Aaron. No, Aaron. We'll go to Andrew. He was holding for us. He had a question about a Ranger.
Yeah, Andrew, a question about your 97 Ranger, and what could we help with?
Yes, sir. It's a straight drive. When I park it, I put the emergency brake on.
Uh-huh.
And a couple times in the past month, when I go to release the emergency brake, the rear wheels are still locked up, and I have to kind of, rock it a little bit, and then it'll make a bang noise, and then it'll release.
He'll free up. Andrew, have you pulled the drums off or had any brake inspection done on that vehicle in a while?
No, sir, I haven't.
There's several different things that can cause that. Of course, obviously the linkage and the cables sticking or binding can, of course, hold tension on them. But one thing that we see from time to time also is if you have an axle seal leaking, what happens?
That was what I was going to say.
Yeah, right.
That's not right.
What happens a lot of the times is that gear lube gets on those shoes and it becomes very, very sticky, almost glues them to the drum. And that's what, again, you back up, you go forward, it kind of frees them back up. So, if you remove those drums or have a brake inspection done, they'll probably find out what the cause was.
And if you think it might be, you can just look under the truck yourself and glance at the back wheels. And if you see where it looks like oil has been coming out from inside the drum,
right.
or actually it'll be rear end grease.
Yeah.
That'll be it. And Andrew, I'm going to mention one other thing while the drums are off. I've run into this a few times. Is if the drums are too large, if they pass their diameter that they're supposed to be, then sometimes the shoes are worn a little bit. Sometimes it can let the shoes just kind of jump over their little edge of the backing plate, and they can kind of hang in there. But usually, if they do that, they don't unstick very easily. I lean a little bit more toward what my original thing was with the grease on the shoes.
Okay. Well, I'll check that and see. All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Appreciate you holding. And the number is 706-863-5800. Saturday mornings 8 to 10. But you can also reach us email if any other time at ccautoshow@gmail.com. And where we're going to, John Ryan?
All right, Aaron. Let's go over to CE.
Perfect idea. And good morning, CE.
Yes. I have a Chrysler Pacifica, and it's an 06.
Mm-hmm.
Got 35,000 miles on it. And I'm wondering if I should be changing the transmission fluid, the coolant, and the brake fluid. I haven't done that.
Oh, yeah. See, if you haven't changed it in that amount of time, no doubt the mileage is low, but you still want to go ahead and change those fluids. Matter of fact, you're more of the mileage is prime time for it. Mm-hmm. Being a 2006, that also adds into the equation. But if you did that, you would have no problems out of those systems for a good long time.
And a lot of things like your brake fluid, it's going to attract moisture just sitting there.
And that's where your time pulls in.
And you're going to have a little bit of moisture that's going to permeate through the brake hoses in different areas, but you're also... It just attracts moisture.
Yeah.
So brake fluid's a definite. And coolant, after a period of time, it loses its ability to lubricate the coolant system. So do that. And transmission fluid, that's just about the mileage to do it. It don't really go bad over time like brake fluid and some other fluid, but 35 is about right for a transmission.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for the phone call.
CE, excellent question, and we do appreciate that very much. And again, number 706-863-5800, Saturdays 8 to 10, and that will be ccautoshow@gmail.com any other time. And John Ryan, where we're going?
Let's go over to Chuck.
And good morning, Chuck, and welcome to the CNC Auto Show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'd like to answer the tech tip quiz.
You know, Chuck, you sound very, very confident. John Ryan, I got a good feeling about Chuck here.
Let's see what Chuck's got.
Yeah, I believe he's got it. Let me hit that question real quick one more time. Billy owns a 04 Chevrolet 2500 truck, loaned it to his friend, and his friend made him blow his engine by pressing the gas pedal. And how did his friend make Billy blow his engine by pressing the gas pedal? And the hint, we gave a hint a little bit later, that actually Billy's friend pressed the gas pedal 3 times. Okay, Chuck, all eyes are on you.
Yep, he reset the oil change reminder.
No. Shut up.
Aaron, he hung up.
He did.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
You know what that tells me? Chuck has a GMC.
Yeah, he
He has a
does.
General Motors product, I should say.
Okay, Chuck, you're absolutely right. Billy's the crowd is just going, wow. I didn't think they were here today.
Yeah, they were.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, Billy's friend borrowed his truck, pressed the gas pedal, and called Billy to blow the engine. Billy's friend was used to driving a very old carbureted truck, so he cut the key on,
Turn the
and
choke
then he
on.
pumped
Yep.
the gas about 3 times. No, actually, he pumped it 4 times.
Yeah.
But who's counting?
Yeah.
And then he cut the key off. Well, this reset Billy's oil reminder light, and that was the only method that Billy had of keeping track of the oil changes, because he didn't use a sticker, he didn't use anything on his PDA or anything like that. So the engine started knocking, and he found that he had 9,500 miles on the oil. And I recommend having several methods of tracking your oil change, and I like the sticker the best. Electronic calendar is one backup.
Yep.
And your maintenance light is the final backup.
Mm-hmm.
So use that as a last resort. And you are the winner, and this is a new day for you, man. It's
Tread lightly.
it's going to be lovely. Okay, and you're the winner of the CNC Auto Show. You get a show hat, coffee mug, and of course your very own G&K uniform. I answered the Tech Tip Quiz golf shirt, and please use your new powers wisely, and use it for good.
Okay.
You don't know how to take that, do you, Chuck?
He just rolled his
Not
eyes,
really.
I could tell.
All right, Chuck, we appreciate that. You sound
Changed for life.
changed for life. Is that what it is?
Yes, I am.
All right, Chuck, we appreciate it very much, and thank you for answering our Tech Tip Quiz.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, Aaron, we got about a
He
minute.
said that's the last time I call them.
We got about a minute and a half. Let's try and grab
Ooh,
Cliff.
Wow, okay, great idea. Good morning, Cliff. Welcome to the CNC Auto Show.
Cliff, if we don't get you all the way, we'll put you on hold through the break, if that's all right.
Yes, sir. It's probably an easy one. Well, I got one question I want to ask some personal. But on my Jeep there, the other night I was driving home and I stopped over here at the store, shut it down, went out, went to crank it, wouldn't crank. So I called my wife, and she brought that little snap-on battery charger for me.
Mm-hmm.
I checked it, plenty of volts going to it. And and come to find out, when I was moving the wire, I saw it was cracked. My positive terminal was cracked a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the wires, I cut it and all, and I redone it, and it fired right up. But when I was moving that positive wire, it moved like a drop cord laid in the yard all day, real like flimsy, flexy.
Right.
And I just put that on there. Is there a certain gauge? Do they make different gauges?
Cliff, let me ask you this. Was when you felt that cable, was it warm?
Yes, sir.
It was probably warm because of that bad connection. What happens is when you have a loose connection like that, it builds up a lot of heat. You ought to try it this morning. It might be okay, believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
try
wasn't
that.
sure I wasn't sure if they had different size. You know, they sell all different kinds.
Yeah, they do. You're right. Yeah, you'd want a
I
good
didn't know.
heavy gauge cable to start that big 6-cylinder up. Takes a lot of torque for the starter to twist it.
Yeah.
They making fun of my little six.
No, that's a
Hey,
good
look-
6-cylinder. I love those.
Well, thank you.
Very,
but I
very
will
good
check.
entrance.
But it was so flimsy, the wire itself. And I said, well, maybe I bought the wrong thickness of the cable there.
Right.
Wasn't sure. Problem.
Cliff,
Thank
thank
you
you very much. And we're going to take a real quick break. And if you want to give us a call, 706-863-5800. That's from on Saturdays, 8 to 10. You can do that. Any other time, you can send us an email, ccautoshow@gmail.com. We'll be right back to answer those questions when we return. And I'll mention one word that if you keep in mind, it'll make your vehicle last longer. And we will be right back. I have found that one of the most important ingredients to quality car repair, whether you're repairing it yourself or having it repaired, is to use good quality parts. That's why I've been using and recommending Napa parts for many years. They fit, They work and they last, and they have the Napa name backing that up. Professionals do not like having to do a job over, and that's why so many professional shops use Napa Auto Parts. My guess is that you don't want to do the job over either, and that's why you should use Napa Parts also. So for a Napa Auto Parts store near you, go to NapaOnline.com and search for the store that is most convenient for you. You'll also see a lot of neat specials and some very useful information. So get the good stuff. Get Napa Auto Parts.
Hey, it's me, your piggy bank. Remember when you were a little kid? All the dimes and quarters in my back? Yeah, that was good times. Good times. Now lately, I gotta be honest, you've been ignoring me. Money's been slipping through your hands like a greased pig. Get it? Because I'm a... Anyway, I know how it is. Now that you get a real paycheck, it's nice to have stuff. You'll start saving money next year. Well, I hate to tell you, but good saving habits start now. Put just $20 in the bank a month. Make your own coffee at home instead of that latte every morning. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering in. Those changes alone could save you thousands of dollars a year. Come on, I'm your piggy bank. We can be together again, me and you, the special times. Anyway, if you don't want me to cry anymore, feed me. Go to feedthepig.org for more ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
This is Joey. Leave a message at the beep.
Joey, this is Katie. You promised me you'd call in the morning, and that was 2 weeks ago.
Is your computer guy treating you like a bad date? Constantly missing deadlines? Not fixing things right the first time? Giving you the geek speak runaround?
Katie, this is Joey. It's not you. It's me. I lied. It's you.
It's time to break up and see other people. Make a date with IntelliSystems.
President and CEO Kevin Wade.
Rely on us for your technology so you can focus on your business.
Hello, this is Joey.
Joey!
At IntelliSystems, we answer our phones live. No technical jargon. We speak plain English, promise to respond in 60 minutes or less for most problems, and you often get someone right away.
Well, hello.
Our clients certify our industry-best customer service.
IntelliSystems, the small business IT department. IntelliSystems.com.
Thanks for listening to the CNC Auto Show with Aaron Clements and John Ryan Mooney, two real live automotive maintenance and repair experts who actually work on all kinds of vehicles every week. So they're always up to date on what's happening in the automotive world. We'll be right back with more of the CNC Auto Show before you know it, so don't you dare touch that dial.
The most important asset of any company is its people, and if your employees come into regular contact with your customers and the general public, they are the ones who create the overall perception and image of your business. When your associates are nicely dressed and feel good about what they're wearing, they are naturally more confident, in a better mood, and more likely to take pride in where they work and what they do for a living. That means, as a rule, that your employees will in turn treat your customers even better. Professional, attractive, well-branded uniforms are one of the most important investments you can make to improve your company's image and morale. I trust G&K Services to provide uniforms for all of our associates, and I can confidently recommend G&K Services for your business or professional practice. G&K Services, providing the finest uniform services for over 100 years. Visit them online at gkservices.com. That's gkservices.com.
Now back to more of the CNC Auto Show. Standing by at the CCB studios, here's Aaron and JR.
And something that you can do with your vehicle that will make you want to keep it a long time is to keep the interior clean and treated. Dirt in the carpet acts like it's sandpaper. As it moves around, it'll eat your carpet up. Keep it vacuumed and keep it looking good, and that will make it last much, much longer. And keeping the vinyl and leather interior parts clean and treated will prevent cracking and warpage and things like that. And if you park in the sun for long periods of time, you may even consider one of those little sun reflector things
those
to
work
go
good.
across the front of your windshield there, and that'll keep the temperature inside the car from building up too much.
Right.
And, of course, if you want to have someone to go in and treat your interior and do all the things that you do there, Top Notch Car Wash in the Augusta area is a very nice place to do that. Of course, if you like to do that yourself, you can go to NapaOnline.com, find a Napa store that's closest to you, and they have every type of treatment imaginable to keep your interior looking good.
Sure do.
And where are we going, John Ryan?
All right, Aaron, let's go over to Alex.
Perfect. Good morning, Alex, and welcome to the CNC Auto Show.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
We are doing great, and we appreciate the call, too.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate what you guys do for the CSRA.
We enjoy it.
2004, cool, good. I've got a 2004 Z71 four-wheel drive. I can get in it sometimes, crank it up, put it in drive. I happen to look to my left. You've got four-position indicator for your four-wheel drive.
Right.
You got the 4 auto, 2 high, 4 high, and then 4 low. And in between the 2 high and the 4 high, there's a red dot and it with an N. It's for neutral.
For neutral, yep.
Occasionally, I'll get in and throw it in drive, and then, get to the end of the driveway and go to turn right, and I happen to notice that it's in neutral, and I'll put it in, put my, the transmission in neutral, and hit the 2 high selector, and it will blink and blink and blink and blink, and it will drop down to 4 high. And then I can mash 2 high again, and it'll blink and blink and blink, and it might go to 2 high, and it may go back to 4 high. All right. This has been going on maybe 3 or 4 weeks now, but it don't do it every day, and it don't do it all the time. One day earlier this week, I got in and cranked the truck up, and the digital display said service four-wheel drive.
Right.
What does that incorporate on this vehicle?
Okay, Alex, good question. What we see and run into on that truck a lot of times, it's saying that it's in four-wheel drive and stuff like that, but you feel like it's not actually engaging in four-wheel drive, right? When you make a right-hand turn.
No.
Yeah, it's not spitting and sputtering like it would do if it was in four-wheel drive.
Right. In other words, it's not jumping.
Right.
If I make a hard right-hand turn, it don't have that lug.
Yeah, it doesn't have that hop
end.
feel to it. Okay, good.
Right.
What I see a lot of the times on that particular vehicle is, especially that message that you said pop up, which is, believe it or not, a good message in that type problem. A lot of times that problem will come up and the service four-wheel drive message never actually illuminates. And what that service four-wheel drive message means is that there is a problem in that system and it set a trouble code. A lot of people mean like, oh, do I change the transfer case fluid? It's not necessarily like a service interval message. It's saying that electrically or electronically the system sees a fault and it's warning you of that. What I see a lot of times on those trucks, of course, that's in the Tahoes, the 2500s, I mean, everything with that transfer case. It on the side of it, of course, it has this big electric motor. They call it a shift encoder motor, which, I mean, it's just a fancy word, but it's a motor that switches it from, of course, 2, 4 high, neutral, and 4 low. It has a position switch on there, and the best way I can describe it is if you held 2 fingers on your palm, and it basically rotates on a copper ring so that it basically, wherever that switch is, it tells it what gear it's in. Those switches over a period of time get corroded. They have a dielectric grease on them that, again, it dries out, it gets corroded, and those switches lose contact. So the reason it's saying it's in neutral, and obviously it's not because you're going down the road, it's saying it's in neutral is because it doesn't know what position that transfer case is at. The reason it has all this is because yours, of course, is electronic and it has auto four-wheel drive. And if you were in mud and you had it on auto, it wants to know what range you're in, and of course it looks at wheel speed. It's a very, very good system. It is a little complex, but I mean there's others out there that are ridiculous as far as the I guess the software and everything in them. So what we would normally do is hook a scan tool up. It does have to be a bi-directional scan tool that can go into different modules. For instance, the ones at the parts store, they would never go into this, but you want to go in there and figure out what code it is, run all the proper charts for it. That way, if it's an encoder motor shift failure, that's the code that typically sets in those. I would say just put an encoder motor on it, but we still want to be sure. I mean, because it's kind of a pricey motor, you want to be sure you're putting the right part on. Every now and then we've seen those switches go bad, but typically they don't illuminate at all when they act up. So do feel like you have an encoder motor problem.
Okay. All right. So one more question I want to let y'all get.
Sure.
Occasionally, this truck also has a dual climate control.
Right.
And we can be riding down the road, and all of a sudden, the driver's side 2 vents begin to blow extremely hot air, passenger side still blowing cold, or vice versa. And then sometimes it just goes hot completely all the way around.
Right.
Now, this has been going on for quite a while, and I got real mad one day, and I just towed it in neutral, cut the engine off going down the road. Gauges went back to zero, crunked the truck back up, and
perfect.
AC works fine.
Yeah, we get that phone call a lot too.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. And I've gone online trying to figure out, what I could do. And there's all these little Band-Aids that these guys say that they put on them and this kind of thing, and nothing ever really fixes it.
Right.
What causes that problem?
Well, believe it or not, it's very similar to your four-wheel drive. It has a motor that, of course, actuates those doors. At both ends, hot and cold, it has a limit switch. And when it reaches full hot, it lifts that limit switch and it knows where it is. Then it goes full cold, knows where cold is. What happens is those limit switches go bad and it never realizes where either hot or cold is. And, you hit a bump, that limit switch loses contact, and then it reverts most of the time to heat. Same thing for your passenger. It's the exact same motor. No doubt there is a lot of Band-Aids to fix them, but to be honest, they're really not that bad to change. They're relatively inexpensive. I lean towards fixing it the right way. And, really the two problems you have are really the only electronic problems that go bad on those trucks, short of an AVS module. They're just, awesome trucks. So I would tend to fix that one.
Cool. All right. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a great day, and thanks for my questions.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And I think John Ryan is just a little bit biased on the Chevrolet trucks like that.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather replace a whole bunch of stuff inside than an engine.
Well, I have to ask you, though. You pulled up in front of the shop this morning in that truck. That's a huge truck.
No, that's a little truck.
What type truck is that? You got to tell me.
It's a GMC Top Kick 5500.
5500 truck.
Yep. Weighs 11,800.
Wow.
Yep.
And you have a trailer hooked behind it.
Yeah, well, that's a little trailer.
Yeah, a little trailer. And you have a lot bigger trailer.
I do, yeah. 30-foot gooseneck.
Well, I can tell you it looks really neat.
Yeah, I like it. Appreciate it.
Just picture the Chevrolet 5500 black.
It's actually the same truck out of Transformers. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Same truck.
I do know that's a beautiful truck, though. Very, very nice. Okay, it is time for us to take a real quick break. And if you want to call us, give us a call. And that number is 706-863-5800. You can call that number between 8 and 10 and join us live on the air. We will answer your automotive questions. Any other time, you can just send your email to ccautoshow@gmail.com, and we will try our very best to answer that question on the very next show or possibly even that show. When we return, I mentioned a service that you can have performed when you need it. It will not only increase the longevity of the vehicle, but will also make your ride much more enjoyable. We'll tell you what that is very shortly. Buying a good late model used vehicle is normally a large, long-term investment. It can be an event that will bring good, warm memories, or it can be an event that can bring bad memories. When you deal with someone with honesty and integrity, it will most always make it a good experience. That's why I recommend Philip Hawkins Motor Company when you're looking for a good late model used car. He has a proven track record of trust and integrity, and he's just a nice person to do business with. So if you're looking for a nice used vehicle, I recommend Philip Hawkins Motor Company. They're located at 2000 Jefferson Davis Highway in Graniteville, South Carolina. They also have a great website with pictures of lots of cars that are in stock at hawkinsmc.com, or you can give them a call at 803-593-5990. And again, that number is 803-593-5990.
This entire piece of music was played with only two instruments, a right hand and a left hand. Hands can do incredible things, but nothing compares to using them to help save a life with hands-only CPR. If an adult suddenly collapses, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of their chest until help arrives. Hands-only CPR is recommended by the American Heart Association, and it's incredibly easy and effective. Find out more about this latest method of CPR at handsonlycpr.org. The power to help save a life is in your hands. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
The most important asset of any company is its people, and if your employees come into regular contact with your customers and the general public, they are the ones who create the overall perception and image of your business. When your associates are nicely dressed and feel good about what they're wearing, they are naturally more confident, in a better mood, and more likely to take pride in where they work and what they do for a living. That means, as a rule, that your employees will in turn treat your customers even better. Professional, attractive, well-branded uniforms are one of the most important investments you can make to improve your company's image and morale. I trust G&K Services to provide uniforms for all of our associates, and I can confidently recommend G&K Services for your business or professional practice. G&K Services, providing the finest uniform services for over 100 years. Visit them online at gkservices.com. That's gkservices.com.
You're listening to the CNC Auto Show with Aaron Clements and John Ryan Mooney, two ASE certified master technicians who really appreciate you taking your time to join us today. We'll be right back with more from Aaron and John Ryan. So stay right here where you are for more great car care advice on the CNC Auto Show.
Welcome to the CC Auto Show. This hour is brought to you in part by your local Napa Auto Care Centers. For as far back as I can remember, Napa Auto Parts has been known as the parts supplier for the professional automotive repair shops. I remember walking into our local Napa store when I was just 13 years old. It was like a social club for technicians. We would talk to other technicians about new techniques and equipment. We knew we were buying good quality parts, and we would all get advice from the very knowledgeable people standing at the counter. Wow, those were great memories. Well, a lot has changed over the years. We now order most of our parts online, and we very seldom pick our parts up. We place the order, and they magically appear a short period of time later. We have megabytes of information at our fingertips. The name of the game is to get it done correctly but fast. But some things have stayed the same. Napa still caters to the professional shops, and they still sell good, high-quality parts. Some good things just get better. To find a Napa Auto Care Center near you, go to napaautocare.com.
Now back to more of the CNC Auto Show. Standing by at the CCB studios, here's Aaron and JR.
And a service that can be performed when needed that will not only increase the vehicle longevity, but it will also make your ride more enjoyable, is to have your tires inspected, rotated, and aligned on a regular basis. Out of balance or out of aligned tires can wear the tires. It makes suspension parts go bad. And it also can make driving, or will make driving, less enjoyable when you do that. So consult your service advisor on when these services are needed on your vehicle.
I thought you were going to say a stereo.
No, definitely not stereo. This has to do with the longevity of the car. And a lot of people just like to stick an iPod in their ear now when they drive anyway. So I guess you don't have to have the stereo working.
I don't know.
But anyway, on Saturday mornings from 8 to 10, give us a call, 706-863-5800. All other times, send your question to ccautoshow@gmail.com. And John Ryan, where or who are we going to?
Where and who?
Where and who?
Let's go over to Kevin.
All right, sounds good. Good morning, Kevin. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling.
I've got an 04 Explorer. That the air conditioning is stuck on defrost right now. It'll open up partially to the cabin, but it won't. It's blown mostly out of the defroster, and I don't know how to reset it.
Gosh, Kevin, you sitting down? I got some bad news for you. Well, Aaron, do you have any good news for him?
No, as a matter of fact, we got one on order similar to that one right now. And I'm assuming it's got automatic air.
Does it, Kevin? Yeah. Unfortunately, what happens a lot of times is that what they call the mode door, you know, what directs the position of the air, of course, floor, vent, and then defrost. The door has this little lever on it that comes out the side of the box, and then this vacuum actuator actually controls it. It's just basically a vacuum diaphragm that either pushes it all the way up for floor and pulls it back for vent, and then pulls it even back further for defrost. What happens is that whole lever breaks off of it. So then the door doesn't actually physically change and change the direction of the airflow basically. So it's, depending on where that door has broken, believe it or not, I've actually fixed it before. It was more of a temporary fix. The correct fix would be, of course, removing the dash, replacing, I believe they call it a housing door is what they call that, or the technical term for it. But depending on where that lever broke, if there's enough to catch on to, you can actually, again, make a temporary repair for it. But in most cases, it's a wise decision to remove the dash and put that housing in it.
That's the whole box in there.
Well, it is just the top half.
Just the top half of the box,
half,
rather.
Yeah.
Can I get to that door without taking the dash off?
Well, I'm going to tell you all my secrets then. You can get to it if you actually remove the glove box. And I'll try and set the scene for you. If you remove the glove box, there's some 7mm bolts across the bottom. If you look in towards almost, if you could envision where the back of the radio is, there's going to be a yellow vacuum light. Man, this is like
That's
haunting,
what I was thinking, John. You weren't going to tell him that before, was you? Unless he asked.
This is tough, man. There's a big diaphragm. It's kind of a chrome-looking silver thing with a lever coming out. And I'm just about willing to bet that lever is going to be hanging down on the ground. You can, everybody knows what zip ties are. It's like just a little bit better than duct tape. You can actually put a zip tie around that lever to where that actuator, of course, makes contact with it, and it will at least give you temporary, vent position. If you're not worried about it switching from, vent to floor and all that stuff, just zip tie it in place. And there you go. I gave about $600 away.
You did like that guy on that movie, Liar, Liar, when he had to tell the truth.
I just can't lie.
Oh, this is killing me.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Well, Kevin, stay on the line there, and I'll send you a bill. We appreciate that.
Okay.
No, seriously, I hope that helps. If you have any more questions about it, you can, of course, give us a call at either the shops or call again Saturday morning.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Kevin, thank you very much. And John Ryan, where are we going to next?
Let's go to Charles and give away some free advice.
Charles, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning there, the two double A's, Aaron and Ashley.
Good morning to you.
Got the two initials, JR.
There you go.
How y'all doing this morning?
Doing very well.
Good. Look here, Aaron, I got a question for you. I've known you for a while. And when you hang around with people, sometimes good things rub off on you, stuff like that right there.
Yeah.
Well, your son-in-law right there took advice and married somebody wonderful. Your daughter.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, in the truck area, why haven't he's been able to rub off on you and you get you one of them nice trucks like he has?
Yeah.
Well, I just don't need
Aaron?
one. I work all the time, and I really don't need
Charles, here's what I'm going to do, though.
Truck.
I'm going to get Aaron to get a motorcycle again. He's got to take it on back roads, but that's what he needs. He needs a good motorcycle.
When I was riding motorcycles, I would have one. I had a truck, and we put it on there.
You did have a nice truck, actually.
Yeah,
You really
did have a nicer truck at one time.
Yeah.
And I still love motorcycles. I just run out of time to be able to do that type stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe one day, Charles. We'll get him in something.
But I will get me another one eventually.
Since your nest is at me now, it's just you and the missus, and I'm sure she'd like to ride in a.
No, you still got one left there, Charles.
Well, Brad, and that's what I spend a lot of my time with, and I'll mention that real quick.
My bad.
Brad has enjoyed. Brad's 16, and the two of us have been rebuilding an MG, and he is doing a beautiful job on it. He put the carpet in last weekend.
Yeah, it looks really good,
and got that part looking good. It's running now. It needs.
We
paint.
may have a upholstery guy in the future, huh?
Yeah. Wow. He's done well.
Okay.
And we took the seats around the Redmond's upholstery, and he's doing the seats for us because Randall Redmond does a beautiful job. And so everything's going good. So I've been spending some time with that. And I have to admit, I found that doing stuff like that can be very, very enjoyable, restoring a car and doing things.
We'll call it soothing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Especially with your son. I mean, that way, if he takes up the trade like behind you, you can really just sit back and relax later on in life.
Well, I just held the flashlight for him while he did that. I don't know about the rest of the stuff.
I might have heard a story about you falling asleep holding it too. But
I did.
That's another day.
Well, it was hot and the fan was blowing and it was quiet and the flashlight just kept dropping down.
Oh, okay. I was just, not trying to get in your business. I was just wondering. I mean, you said, y'all talk about y'all ride a truck. I said, well, why don't I even get him one of them nice trucks too? But I mean,
we'll get him one, Charles.
I have a Prius and it does what I need it to do.
I put it in the bed and take him home sometimes.
Yeah.
You number one son-in-law.
Yeah, man.
Well, Charles, as always, we appreciate the phone call.
All right, fellas.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
And thank you, Charles. And, of course, number 706-863-5800. That's Saturdays 8 to 10. Any other time, ccautoshow@gmail.com. And it is time to go to a real quick break. And when we return, we'll mention a tip on how you can make your vehicle last longer. We'll be right back. The most important asset of any company is its people, and if your employees come into regular contact with your customers and the general public, they are the ones who create the overall perception and image of your business. When your associates are nicely dressed and feel good about what they're wearing, they are naturally more confident, in a better mood, and more likely to take pride in where they work and what they do for a living. That means, as a rule, that your employees will in turn treat your customers even better. Professional, attractive, well-branded uniforms are one of the most important investments you can make to improve your company's image and morale. I trust G&K Services to provide uniforms for all of our associates, and I can confidently recommend G&K Services for your business or professional practice. G&K Services, providing the finest uniform services for over 100 years. Visit them online at gkservices.com. That's gkservices.com.
As a young teenage boy, I didn't even know what autism was. How do you even spell that? A few years later, I heard that a friend's cousin's son had been diagnosed with autism.
I still wasn't sure what that really meant.
When I went to college, my roommate's brother had autism. When I moved to the city for work, my best friend called me and told me his son had been diagnosed with autism. We were both in shock. I still remember the day I walked into the house and saw that look on my wife's face. I knew something was wrong. I'll never forget how I felt when she said, "Our son has autism."
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 68 children is diagnosed with autism. That's about a 30% increase in 2 years. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
I have found that one of the most important ingredients to quality car repair, whether you're repairing it yourself or having it repaired, is to use good quality parts. That's why I've been using and recommending Napa parts for many years. They fit, they work, and they last, and they have the Napa name backing that up. Professionals do not like having to do a job over, and that's why so many professional shops use Napa Auto Parts. My guess is that you don't want to do the job over either, and that's why you should use Napa Parts also. So for a Napa Auto Parts store near you, go to NapaOnline.com and search for the store that is most convenient for you. You'll also see a lot of neat specials and some very useful information. So get the good stuff. Get Napa Auto Parts.
Thank you for sharing your morning with us right here on the CNC Auto Show, hosted by Aaron Clements and John Ryan Mooney, 2 ASC certified master technicians who believe in helping you make your car run better, last longer while saving you money, and having fun all at the same time. We'll be right back soon, so keep listening.
Buying a good late model used vehicle is normally a large, long-term investment. It can be an event that will bring good, warm memories, or it can be an event that can bring bad memories. When you deal with someone with honesty and integrity, it will most always make it a good experience. That's why I recommend Philip Hawkins Motor Company when you're looking for a good late model used car. He has a proven track record of trust and integrity, and he's just a nice person to do business with. So if you're looking for a nice used vehicle, I recommend Philip Hawkins Motor Company. They're located at 2000 Jefferson Davis Highway in Graniteville, South Carolina. They also have a great website with pictures of lots of cars that are in stock at hawkinsmc.com, or you can give them a call at 803-593-5990. And again, that number is 803-593-5990.
Let's go back to the CCB studios in downtown Augusta with more of today's CNC Auto Show. Here's Aaron Clements and John Ryan Mooney.
And jump in, let's go. Now, this tip does not apply to all of you, but it does apply to some of you. And we're talking about longevity of your car.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way for some of you to increase the longevity of your vehicle. And vehicles, actually. And here it is. Quit driving like a daggum maniac.
Yeah, that would happen.
when you drive like a maniac, your car, truck, or SUV, it'll need brakes and tires sooner, and the parts will wear out a lot more often, and it just won't last as long. It'll use more gas.
Are you implying that if somebody comes in for brakes, they're maniacs?
No. I'm saying that if you drive like a maniac, your brakes won't last as long as they would otherwise. And so just and this is not a huge number of people, but there are some that drive very, very fast.
Oh, yeah.
Now, some people accuse me of driving faster than I should sometimes.
It really depends on what you drive though.
It is true. Yeah.
Because your Prius, you do pretty good, because I think you're constantly monitoring, how much economy you're getting. But that truck you used to have in the van, you'd get down in that thing.
That might be why I like that car so much.
I think that's it.
It keeps me at I like that. I'm going to have to think about that a little bit. Now, if you want the vehicle to last a long time, you can treat it. You can't treat your car like a yard dog or run it like a rented mule. You need to baby it a little bit and be kind to your car. Treat it good, and it will treat you good. Now, if you could relate to cars like me and John Ryan, it would tell you that. But instead, we have to relay the information back to you from what they're saying.
Yeah, we have some sort of weird language between us and cars. I don't know what it is.
They want to be treated good.
That's right.
So treat your car good. Okay.
All right, Aaron, we'll be quiet and let's go to the phone calls. Let's go straight to Ron.
Good morning, Ron. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, fellas.
Ron, he talks too much, doesn't he?
I want to go see his doctor. I think he's one of them guys giving out them prescriptions for them happy pills.
Believe it or not, we charge Aaron at night. We just hook him up to the wall. He's got a 24-volt charger.
If you think it's bad there, you ought to see it from in here.
Especially after 2 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
Look, you're talking about maniacs. I don't know if y'all heard the National Highway statistics on the road deaths. 19,000. That's a hard number to swallow, but 19,000 deaths since January 1st to June 30th.
Yeah. Wow.
They're predicting by the end of the year there'll be a total of in excess of 40,000 deaths on the highway.
Mm-hmm.
25% of those, they say, will be directly related to cell phone use. Given those numbers, you're looking at 10,000 people that will lose their lives because of other people's negligence.
Wow.
It's sobering. I mean, the statistics are just breathtaking. It's hard to understand and put those numbers into perspective.
Well, when you think about the Titanic, which happened in the early 1900s,
right,
and 2,000 people, and then you compare that number. That people talked about that for 100 years now.
Right.
Close to 100 years now. And that was 2,000 people, and you're talking the numbers that you're talking.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Well, that's it. If you brought that to Congress and said that there was some disease or some social situation that caused the deaths of 40,000 people, there'd be so much outrage up there that it would be the news media would be on it every day. But it's one of those little things that goes under the radar, nobody pays attention, and it's an accumulative effect that goes on day by day. guys, just talking about on tips on running your car further. Has there ever been a cost analysis done over whether using gasoline or ethanol and the cost that it takes to repair versus the money you save by using ethanol?
Well, most of the later model vehicles have a lot of design features that make it where ethanol has very little effect on the longevity of the vehicle.
Right.
And plus the computer programming of the vehicles are programmed in
adapt,
ways to where it adjusts for the amount of ethanol that is inside the vehicle.
Right.
Now, no doubt that some of that does add to the cost of the car, but it's really not a lot if it's built into when the car is built.
Yeah, I think you could do that for an older vehicle, of course.
Yeah,
you know,
now with
do
an
a study
older
like that.
vehicle, of course, there are costs involved because you have different things that it does have an effect on things like the inside of the gas tank, gas lines.
Well, like
fuel
that
pumps.
Jeep you were talking about at the first hour,
Jeep,
you know, the even drivability problems, just like you mentioned, Ron, you know, having to repair those, you got to figure all that in.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of what some of the things that they're looking at is how is ethanol in itself, is it something that is worth doing? Because a lot of the ethanol is government subsidized, and that's part of what keeps the cost down to where they can put up to 15% in there and still be good. But the good part of the ethanol, the major part of it, is a renewable resource that can be grown is grown right here in the U.S.
Right.
So more of our money stays here as opposed to going overseas to buy oil.
Right. But look what it's done to the whiskey prices. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, it's
exactly.
But look, guys, I appreciate y'all's show. Y'all had make it a safe weekend.
Yeah, Ron, we appreciate your phone call.
Ron, we thank you very much. John Ryan, we got an email from Jacob. He has a 95 Chevrolet S10, and he said that his four-wheel drive does not work.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully he didn't find this out when he was stuck. But no doubt that vehicle does have somewhat of an electrical system that controls the four-wheel drive, but it also has a vacuum actuator that engages the front differential.
Yeah.
You know, of course, the transfer case, once it's in four-wheel drive, now the front drive shaft's spinning, but you have to lock up the front end because all that stuff is rotating going down the road. When it's rotating in two-wheel drive, all it's disconnected, so it's got to have a way to, you know, link the four-wheel drive together. What happens a lot of times is there's vacuum actuators that pull basically a plunger in that actually engages that four-wheel drive. And if you have a vacuum line that's broke, it can cause that. If you have a vacuum solenoid that's not operating properly, it can cause that. So, you know, basically what you do is you look for a vacuum leak first, of course, and then if you don't find a vacuum leak, you would probably go into, you know, checking the solenoids and whatnot and make sure that four-wheel drive's operating correctly.
So, Jacob, you might have something minor, but also there's some larger things that can cause that problem.
First, get the vehicle unstuck, then diagnose it.
Exactly. Okay, we're going to do 2 or 3 real quick things. We want to give a fuel report, and we've got a fairly nice fuel report. Places in Georgia and South Carolina, fuel is now selling for under $2 a gallon in some places. I think that's kind of neat. Lower consumption, higher oil imports, and from Iran equal high inventories and lower prices, and it gets better than that. Fuel is expected to continue to drop in the coming months. So I think that's very neat.
Yeah, it's always good, isn't it?
Yep, and we also want to go ahead and give a fuel saving tip real quick. We're going to squeeze that in. Don't keep trying to get more fuel into your tank once it's full. And John Ryan, what does that do?
It costs you more money in the long run. It can the vapors and liquid fuel can actually be forced into the evap canister, and of course that's full of charcoal to, you know, of course get rid of all the fumes and everything. And if it's got liquid fuel in it, it can damage it immediately. And you know, on average, you're looking somewhere between $400 to $800 on most of those systems. So, yeah, just once that pump stops, go ahead and stop. I mean, you're not going to get that much further with another $1 worth of gas in it. So
exactly, and it will cause problems.
No, absolutely.
No doubt.
Of course,
so
check
when
engine
it
light
clicks
too.
one time, go ahead and stop.
Call it quits.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, now we're going to mention one other thing that I think is kind of neat, and we're seeing that more and more all over the place. Rear view mirrors or cameras in different places. Rear view and backup cameras, they've become increasingly common on newer cars. adding a measure of safety, convenience when reversing in late model cars. Now, and really, this is the first time I've noticed this. Toyota was in the other day with the front camera.
Yeah, that's neat. And the camera's right in the
well, I
the
just
emblem.
noticed the camera on the front. I didn't look inside the car to see what it was, why it was looking at.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's right in the Toyota emblem.
Exactly.
And of course, it shines right down, and that's a killer system. It really is.
So if you're getting pulled over, so the police is filming you.
And
Well, I guess depending on where the person's parked.
So what are you saying? Put it in reverse the whole time he's talking to you?
But I wonder, does any of these cameras, does that camera record or anything like that?
I don't know. Well, it's time to go, Aaron.
Okay, it is time to go. We're gonna need to wrap it up. Okay, we're gonna close this hour of the CNC Auto Show. And whether you tuned in or logged in, we appreciate you riding with us on the CC Auto Show. It's time to shut her down. And we'll be cranking up a new hour before you know it. You can catch us on Facebook and watch this show and past shows on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and then go to the CC Auto Show on YouTube. And thank you again for listening to the CNC Auto Show.